Judy Moody goes to college. Part 5. Gratitude. At morning break, Judy made a fake call on her chocolate mobile phone. During science, Judy drew a cartoon of Miss Grossman using polygons. At lunchtime, Judy said, "Let's food," and waited in the lunch queue with her peeps. When it was her turn, she stepped up to the counter and said to the dinner lady, "I'll have a small, tall, upside down, backwards, non-fat cat, extra weak, and make it wet." "Aren't all drinks wet?" asked Frank. "We don't have coffee," said the dinner lady. "Hot chocolate?" Judy asked. But all they had was chocolate milk. Boring. At college, you can get hot chocolate with a heart design in the foam on top, and you can get sprinkles. "Oh, really?" said the dinner lady. "How many kinds of cereals do you have here?" Judy asked. "None. We don't have any cereal. It's lunch. At college, you can have breakfast all day, even if it's midnight." Rocky, Frank, and Jessica pushed past Judy. "Do you have a salad bar?" Judy asked. "The salad bar is only for the teachers. At college, anybody can eat at the salad bar, even kids." "What kind of cafeteria is this? They should call it Cafe Terrible." "Hey, college!" yelled a 5th grader at the back of the queue. "Move it along. Some of us want to eat lunch today." Judy took a non-wet, no-whip, heartless chocolate milk and went to sit with her peeps. "Here she comes. What's she gonna brag about now? Yeah, she thinks she's so college." Soon, she, Judy Moody, was eating alone at the lunch table. Fact of life. Judy minus Rocky minus Frank minus Jessica Finch minus Amy Nammy equals a big fat 0. Not a peep. Judy stared at her lunch tray. A peanut butter and jam sandwich looked so babyish. At break time, nobody wanted to play Judy's game, finding polygons hidden in the playground. Judy found a triangle in a tree branch, an octagon where the fence was ripped, and 6 rectangles on the ladder going up to the slide, all by herself. For the first time ever, Judy could not wait for her maths lesson. She, Judy Moody, owned the time. "Look out! Here comes the multiplication maniac, the polygon princess, the graph guru, the fraction freak. Just wait till I see him these courses for the right answers." Last of this time, Mrs. Grossman started writing on the board. Judy sat up straight. She pricked up her best ever listening ears, the one she usually saved for Mr. Todd. She squinted at the board. Words? Why was Mrs. Grossman writing so many words? What did words have to do anything with maths? Hello? Where were all the numbers? The fraction and the plus signs and the equal signs. Judy raised her hand. "Excuse me," she said. "I thought this was a maths lesson. What's with all the sentences?" "We're starting something new today," said Mrs. Grossman. "Multi-step word problems. You have to read the problem first, then do the maths, one step at a time. That's why we call them word problems." Judy had a word problem, all right. A problem with words, though pretending to be maths. Mrs. Grossman pointed to the board. Jill had 24 valentines. She gave half of her valentines to her friends at school. Judy raised her hand again. "Who's Jill?" "Jill isn't a real person. She's just somebody in a word problem." "So her name could be Chloe," said Judy. "And her school could be a college." Mrs. Grossman shut her eyes and took a deep breath. Judy, please let me finish. Then Jill gave the other half of her valentines to friends who lived in her block except for... Judy raised her hand again. Look, like maybe a drum? Doesn't matter, it's just an example. Will we get to draw a graph for this word problem with hearts for valentines? Because in college we get to draw a graph. Judy, I'm going to have to ask you again to stop interrupting. I was just saying, said Judy. Mrs. Grossman let out a deep breath. But her face looked all pinched up. Jill had enough valentines left over to give each one to her mum, her dad, and a little sister. Jill sounds like an NCP, said Judy. Judy, that's it, said Mrs. Grossman. She pointed at the tent to the back of the room. You mean I have to go into that tent? That's why we call it the attitude tent, said Mrs. Grossman. But I'm not really in a camping attitude, said Judy. Go and sit in the tent. Don't come out until you can show me an attitude adjustment. And not another word about college, Judy. Yeesh. Mrs. Grossman was the reason she went to college in the first place. She wished Mrs. Grossman would go back to where she came from, New England, probably Massachusetts. Judy hung her head and slunk to the back of the room. She crawled inside the tent. It was kind of like the Toad Pea Club inside, minus any peeing toads. Of course, Natch. She, Judy Moody, did not even play with her ask a question, watch 5,000. She thought about what she'd done, but she could not for the life of her understand why Mrs. Grossman didn't like her attitude. Didn't she know a positive attitude when she saw one? Now, Judy's matitude had turned into a maditude. Maths was no fair. Maths equal life. Life was no fair. See, a person could do multi-stat word problems even in an attitude tent. No biggie. You just had to have the right magnitude.